Those killed were the size of the tragedy. But let us not forget that every single gun fatality represents anguish, pain, devastation of the lives of the families of the loved ones of each and every victim. This summer, gun violence in Virginia horrified people across the country as we watched the tragedy unfold on television. When Allison Parker, Adam Ward, and Vicki Gardner were shot in the middle of a live broadcast for ABC affiliate WDBJ in Roanoke. While Ms. Gardner survived, Ms. Parker and Mr. Ward tragically died at the scene. Allison's young life was stolen from her, her friends, and her family. She had incredible potential and was loved by so many. An unstable man who should have never been able to purchase or possess a gun shot them in cold blood. Allison's parents, Andy and Barbara, join us today to share their heartbreaking story. They are both tireless advocates for gun violence prevention, and Andy reminds us every day that this is now life's work. We need people like you all here today to join Andy, to join Barbara, to join Nancy, to join Pat, to band together to ensure that your voices, that our voices are heard in Richmond come January and across the country. Passage of one bill is not going to solve or resolve or prevent all future tragedies. But we will never know which tragedies were averted if we don't move forward. Enough is enough, and that's what we have to keep saying. Enough is enough. Continuing to do nothing is no longer possible. We need to enact change now. Please join me in this moment in introducing and welcoming Andy and Barbara Parker.
Reverend, that's my favorite movie network.
I know.
Hello, I'm Barbara Parker. 4 months ago, we could never imagine that today we would be here with you. We heard all of these stories about gun violence in America. Each time there was a mass shooting, and since something has to be done, we have to do something, and yet we did not speak out because it did not happen to us. Aurora happened. Sandy Hook happened. And still we said, we have to do something about this, but we did not speak up because it had not happened to us. And then it happened to us. On August the 26th, our daughter, who was reporting on a fluff piece about the marina at Smith Mountain Lake near Roanoke, was murdered in cold blood by a former employee of their station. She was not doing anything that would put her in harm's way. Her cameraman was not doing anything that would put her in harm's way. And yet, her life was taken from her. Every morning, she greeted people at 5:50 a.m. while they got ready to go to work, cheered them up. She was part of their family. She came into their homes, and they loved her. And on August the 26th, instead of being with her while they got ready for work, they watched her murder on television. We were the lucky ones. We used to tell Allison, I am really sorry, we can't get up that early. So we did not see it, and we never will. So Allison will remain in our hearts exactly as she always was. And yet now, after the grief and the anger took hold, we thought, we have to do something now. Now it's personal. It's about us. So that's why we're here with you today, is that we cannot allow our children to become collateral damage, and that's exactly what they have become. It's been acceptable for children at Sandy Hook, our daughter Allison, and for all of these other people's children to die It's been accepted, and I can't accept it.
And you know, as you know, soon after Allison was murdered, we vowed to do whatever it takes to end gun violence in this country. And so today, we find ourselves here at the headquarters of the NRA, an organization that facilitates death and destruction. But let me be very clear. It's the leadership of the organization in that building that perpetrates this plague on our country, not the majority of the rank and file members or responsible gun owners that are repulsed enough to not join these people. The reality is that the people, sadly to say, the people in this building, they're just businessmen. They don't really care about you or your family or your community or, frankly, even their own members. All they want to do is sell guns.
Yes.
That's all they want to do. Wayne LaPierre, sitting up there in probably a grand office, he makes $1 million a year from gun manufacturers to keep the product flowing to the consumer. And you know what? He's been doing a great job of it since he hijacked the NRA some 30 years ago. But look, folks, he's just a businessman and a purveyor of terrorism.
Right.
But sadly, the real villains of this whole gun debate right now reside a few miles south on Capitol Hill. Wayne's done a great job of keeping his business churning by filling the coffers of people like Congressman Mike McCall and Bob Goodlatte. McCall was supposed to be protecting us as the House Homeland Security Chair, and Goodlatte has over 100 gun violence prevention bills sitting on his desk that he won't address, and he told me to my face that he will not address them. He will not hold hearings. He said, well, you know, we should enforce the laws that we already have on the books. How many times have we heard that? And yet, at the behest of the boys in that building, the ATF, the very agency that's tasked to enforce those laws that he cares so much about, he's voted to gut funding for them. They have the lowest level of staff that they've had in 40 years. Goodlatte, McCall, they're duplicitous, hypocritical cowards. And then you have, as we've alluded to before, what other speakers have alluded to, the disgraceful vote by the Senate in the aftermath of San Bernardino that would have prevented known or suspected terrorists from getting their hands on firearms. And you see who the real villains are in this story. The guys in this building, yeah, they're thugs and they're traitors, but at the end of the day, they're just doing business. Happy that they've got stooges down the road that will do their bidding against the wishes of the vast majority of the American people. You know, it would be an amazing model that should be studied in every business school in the country if it weren't so twisted. Now, nothing's going to bring Allison back. Thoughts and prayers from politicians who actually think to utter those words won't cut it. And we're here today to appeal to the membership of the NRA and responsible gun owners in this country. As I've said once, we've said once, we've all said here 100 times, we're not coming to take your guns away. Nobody in this movement is saying we want to take away your rights under the Second Amendment. And to those that keep drinking the Kool-Aid that suggest otherwise, it's the thugs inside this building that have done a masterful job of brainwashing you. But for those of you NRA members who do get it and have had enough of these guys' lies, I challenge you to take back this organization that used to be respected. This used to be a respected organization. Now, like many in Congress, it's a disgrace and an aider and abettor in terrorism.
Amen.
Amen.
I task you NRA members, are you ready to reject the model, the business model that these people have, or will you continue to allow business as usual?
This is a patch that I was awarded as a teenager at camp 50 years ago. And I made every intention of bringing this and burning it here in front of the NRA building. But then I thought, this is not a symbol of this NRA. This is a symbol of the NRA when it was for sportsmanship and for gun safety and for responsible gun ownership. It was something I was proud to earn when I was taking riflery and learning to do target practice at camp. So I won't burn this, but what I will do is I will challenge those responsible gun owners to take back your organization. Let it become the NRA that was here 50 years ago, that meant something and was important to our culture and not a terrorist organization.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.